I like didn't even know that travel OCD was a problem people experienced, which is why I thought it was like so normal that I had so much anxiety over planning travel. Like, for example, whenever it comes to buying plane tickets or train tickets or whatever, like it takes me so long to decide which tickets I'm gonna get because I'm worried that I'm gonna make the wrong choice and that something bad will happen, like either directly related to the travel. Like I'm scared like the flight will, be the one that crashes, or the train ticket I buy will be the one like that's like the train that's gonna derail. Or like I'm worried that like the bad thing that'll happen from buying the tickets is like not even related to the travel. Like I'll think about buying a plane ticket and be like, oh my God, what if something really bad happens to my mom? Or like, what if something really, really bad happens to me? Like, what do I do? Like, and I know in my head these things are like not connected. That fear of being like, okay, but like, what if they are? Which sort of like previously would lead to me just sort of sitting for hours and hours and hours, like debating which thing I should buy or not buy. And it was like a huge waste of time, right? Which I also wish that OCD worked in the opposite direction. Like, I wish intrusive thoughts were like, if I buy this plane ticket, things are gonna go really well. Like, if I buy this plane ticket, I'm gonna win like a bunch of free clothes or something like that. Like, it's always like the worst stuff imaginable. And like before doing ERP treatment with NOCD, I would truly just like avoid making travel decisions until the very last minute. And then, yeah, I would spend hours and hours just sort of deciding like which plans felt right. And I wasted, again, so much time. And even after like I did the thing, like after all this like pained time figuring out which travel plan is right, like which flight is right, which plane ticket, which train ticket is right, like the worry wouldn't end. Like the thoughts wouldn't end. And then there were more and more sort of like concerns that I felt like I had to like fix. Like I'd get into these sort of, obsessive compulsive spirals where like I'd get the plane ticket and then I would be like, wait, so now that I have this flight, what's going to go wrong? And what's going to go wrong in between now and then? And, how am I going to fix it? And like, how do I know when the bad thing related to this travel is going to happen? And then like it, nothing would happen, but I would still sort of be on edge because it's like that's how your brain works, where you're like, okay, like I can't just like relax. I always have to like be like ready for the bad thing to happen. And then I would like go to the airport, I'd get on the flight, and then I'd spiral about like what was gonna go wrong when I'm already on the plane. It's like, girl, you're on the plane. Like if something happens, something happens, right? And before ERP therapy, I could not accept that. Like I could not just sort of move, like have a thought and then like move on to like something else. Like I would sort of spiral about I would spend the whole entirety of a flight like on like just thinking about that and like going through like every sort of scenario possible and like everything that I was scared of. And I try to like prevent those things by like having, repeating like a pattern of words in my head and being like, well, maybe this is a thing that's going to keep the plane up. And it's like, well, I think the pilot's probably going to keep the plane up ultimately, but that wouldn't stop me. Like that wouldn't stop me from like going through like every single sort of scenario, like everything that I was scared of. Like there were like the classics, of course, which was like, okay, what if this plane crashes on land? Or worse, what if it crashes on water? Like I can't swim. What if it's like a mix of like a land water sort of landing where everyone has to evacuate but no one does a good job? What if like whoever's by the emergency exit like doesn't open the door in time or like isn't good at it? Like what's my plan? How am I gonna get over there and like open that door for everybody? What if I can't do it? What if I freak out and like that's why we all die? And like what, just like what if like what if I was actually never cut out to save a plane full of people? What if that was never going to be me? And what does that say about me? And is it because I'm evil? Is it because what if I have the opportunity to save everyone on the plane in the event of an emergency landing and I choose not to because that's actually the core of who I am, is someone who actually simply would not save everybody on the plane. But then I'm like, well, in order to know if I'm someone who would save everybody on the plane or not, the plane would have to crash or like something would have to happen. And then that really scares me. And then I'm like, wait, I just had this thought about like how I like, do I want the plane to crash? And is that going to make the plane crash because the plane heard me? Because like, yes, in many ways, a plane is just sort of like, an inanimate object, but like also like, what if it's not? What if that's what they're not telling us? That it's not. Anyway, all of this is happening just on the, like, I'm just sitting in my seat. I could have been reading a book. I could have been like listening to the new Bad Bunny. Could have been doing so many things. And instead I'm just kind of like waiting for something to happen. And then I'm trying to prevent it in my head with these like little like sort of little patterns and being like, okay, well, yes, I'm thinking a lot of scary stuff right now, but I'm also stopping it. Actually, the fate of everybody on this plane is in my hands. And if I don't do my little compulsive behaviors, then, well, we're all gonna be in a lot of trouble. And then I'd like take out my phone because of course it's not in airplane mode. I'm like, oh, I care so much about making sure that this plane stays up. And it's like when the flight attendants are like, be in airplane mode, I'm like, okay, sorry girl, I'm actually not doing that. Anyway, I'm on my phone, not in airplane mode. And I like see a story about how a plane had to like divert, its landing. I don't know enough about planes to believe that I can truly save everyone on a plane, but that's something that I'm realizing now. Anyway, I read this story that's like, oh, this plane had to like divert because there were like 12 toilets on the train and 8 of them were clogged because someone clogged them up. And I'm just like, oh my God, what if that happens to us? What if that happens to us? And then I'm like watching everybody and I'm like, who's gonna clog the toilets? Is it gonna be me? I mean, it won't be me, but maybe it'll be me. Anyway, the point is, before ERP therapy, travel was such a nightmare, as you can see from that. Like, I really just fully, like, even just telling you guys, like, that right now, I'm like, wow, I fully just, like, blacked out a little bit. But now that I've gotten ERP treatment with NOCD, like, I've gotten so much better about planning travel, like, I still feel that discomfort or, like, anxiety of, like, oh, what if I don't pick the right flight or the right train, and like it has some sort of like really bad negative impact, but like you kind of just have to do it. Like you can't spend hours sort of sitting with the what ifs because you're just like never gonna know. Like, I mean, I still get scared when I'm choosing travel or making a decision, or even when I'm on the plane or on the train, or like these kind of feelings still happen. But it's a lot easier to sort of feel them and then not really give them any more airtime and just sort of like let them go, right? And I think I've gotten sillier about it too, because like if I'm on a plane, I'm like, oh my God, what if it goes down? I feel like I used to be like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to stop it. And now I'm like, well, if this plane goes down, like I don't really want to go to Phoenix anyway. There's actually one analogy that my therapist told me about that I find really helpful, where I think of my thoughts as like a flowing stream, and it's okay to just sort of notice them and then let them pass. The stream is always going to flow, and I don't need to worry about like what is going on in airplane toilets. If you're experiencing something similar, finding a therapist through NOCD might be helpful. Like that is what I did, and that has made my life so much easier. Like the OCD doesn't just like go away, but with some help, it's become a lot more like background noise. And that might help you too. I don't know.